Hi there, just grabbing a coffee and having a look through my February pages. Thought I'd share a little walkthrough online. So here is my February monthly divider page. I've just shared a reel on this. I used a page from the Hobby Story Kit because it had hearts in. And there was a lot of hearts this month that I thought it would follow through with a theme. I also added stitched these banners, plastic banners on. When you've got plastic in a kit, it's difficult to find ways to add them. So I usually stitch them, if you can see there, I stitch them on, which I shared in my reel. And then I hadn't used these heart stickers up from last month, and there was one on this side, some of these stickers from the end of January on this Goodbye January page. So I thought actually it follows through, so I'd use them on there. So the red is tying in with the red on this side, the hearts are tying in with the hearts on this side, even though this is a new month and it's obvious from the vellum at the top there. This month I stitched the 8 by 7.25 paper to some pocket pages. I'm ending up with a lot of these squared pocket pages left over, so I was thinking of new ways to use them. So I stitched the paper to some of the square pocket page protectors, and it left me with a little piece at the top here that wasn't a square, and I thought if I cut down the Hello February card, because I didn't particularly like the colour on that, and stitched my own bow. Actually, I think I stapled it in the end. Yes, I did. Stapled my own bow over the top. These circles I die cut from a paper from the OXO story kit, just trying to bring in some of my stash and use it up. I talked a bit about bridge storage. After taking the stash class, I ended up finding eventually some trays that you can use to pull things out of your stash that you want to use first, and these stackable trays actually sit in my drawer here, so that's even better. And so I was able to pull out some things that I felt went with this month's kit, and that reminded me to use them. And one was this paper. These circles were die cut from an 8 by 4 paper from the OXO kit, and it had 3 circles, so I was able to talk a bit of ephemera here about some French chocolates my sister brought me back, which reminded me of old times. And then on the back I was short of an extra circle here, but in my stash, now I've reorganised my stash a little bit into these plastic boxes, which I've got in my bottom drawer here. I was able to pull out things, you'll see in my reel, I was able to pull out things that would go here. And this heart from the Hobby Story Kit just fit perfectly on the back of the card. I thought it was quite fun to talk about the the melt in the middle chocolate puddings we had for our Valentine's meal from M&S, and I wrote a bit about that there, so that's quite good. Here I've just covered up some faces here of family members that I didn't want to particularly share online, so I've got some different things going on here. I like to make little flaps, so I've got a flap there of a visit we made, and then I've got a flap here of something else that happened this month, again covering some faces up here, but you can get the idea. This was out of the Hobby Story Kit, and I thought that actually worked in quite well. So this is this double page spread. So I've got the mustard yellow going across both sides. Again, I've got one of those hearts out the Hobby Story Kit that fitted in with the colour scheme well. I stamped using the stamp set I had from last year's Stories by the Month kit. I ended up keeping last year's stamp sets on their cards, and each time a month comes out, I pull out the set from last year. Some of the older kits I'd organised a while ago with Laura Wanzik's idea onto bigger sets, but last year's I've kept as the monthly stamp kits because we weren't getting any this year. But what I have done is on the back here, I've printed out any other March stamp sets that I have, either digitally, oh, it's not focusing very well, there we go, either digitally or physically, so that it's just a reminder to me, if I'm looking for something with March, that's a really good idea that I've got those, including this year's. I bought the digital stamp here. So that means that I've got 5 sets of stamps when I come to March that might have something to do with March on them that I can pull out and use. So these little reminder cards go in the back of this physical stamp set, and then I just pop that stamp set in the front of my kit organising box, which I've shared before. Okay, so that's the second page, double page spread. The third page, I tried to use these vellum hearts. I told different stories with them, and I used the physical card here of the With Love, but I wanted to bring out a 3 to match the 3, so I printed off 2 from the digital versions, so that works well. This side, because of this side having pink and yellow and a bit of black on it, I found this vellum that I hadn't used from last year's August Story by the Month kit, and I pulled that out, and this I think was May last year, this card, and I pulled that out so that we've got some cohesion across the 2 pages, even though this is a whole story on its own about having a new ensuite, so all about breaking it down there. But I think they go well together. That's about Valentine's Day and different stories about that, and then that's more about starting this renovation. On this page, again, I've got a flap here, used a tag from an older story kit to tell the stories of putting the ensuite back together. And this is an old chipboard from another kit that fitted really well with the colours and with the thoughts. So that is all about that story. And then over here, I brought in something from the Wander kit because members of our family were abroad and sending photos, so I brought that in. And we've got the vellum cut into 2 there, and this was a 6x4 vellum that's been cut into 2 there. So this particular page protector is all 3x4 because it fitted well with the story I was telling. Lots of photos about choices we were making. I had a few other stories that I wanted to include, so I went back in my kits and found this card from last year, my digital kit, and I just put in a few photos. I've shown how to do that on YouTube if you don't know how to create boxes and mask photos into it, but without the flap I felt it was all too busy photos on this side, so I cut this Good Times from one of the cards and stitched it to a colour that I felt went well with this side, and another one of those hearts from the Hobby Story kit. I just do as many pages as I have stories to tell. And then lastly here I've cut up, if you notice, I've cut up the Valentine's cards to put them in as 3x4 cards. There was another one, and that's that one. And then this this is the last one of those plastic banners which I've been able to use and write on them with a fine point Sharpie. And that's the end of February. So I thought I hadn't too many stories to tell, but actually I had. I wasn't sure that I liked all the hearts, but actually it's worked in different ways. I've covered up the wording that was on this 6x4 card with a bit of the packaging from the kit, because I didn't think the colours went. I wanted to keep it black and white for this particular side as we go into March on this side. So that's what I've done there. So not much left of my February story kit. I can show you in my, if I look at the previous kit, what have I got left? I've got a few stickers I haven't used, but they'll just go in my stash. I've got this word that says random act of kindness. I've got half of that exo vellum, and then the exo vellum that says some people are worth melting for. I've got that one left. So not a lot of stuff left. So what do? I put it into my previous kit section here, and then when I'm working on March with the current kit, I think, oh, have I got something that ties in? I'll look at that first. Okay, hope you enjoyed the walkthrough, and I'll have my coffee.